Hello, good afternoon. We are having another interview. This time it is innocent victims from Finland, or should I say the innocent victims, I think. And we are here to discuss the future heap pension event taking place on May 14th and 15th here in Finland. 14th we will be in Lahti and 15th we will be in Helsinki. And I am Leo Mustonen. I am the president of the Finnish fan club for Uriah Heep called Uriah Heep Suomi Finland. And this is Juhani Rantala.
Yeah, here. Yeah, I'm the secretary and treasurer of the fan club, and I'm sitting here in our camper van. We are attending birthday party of one of our grandchildren, so I will be with you only for the first half an hour, and then I have to hit the road.
And then we have Trevor Hensley here also.
Good afternoon, everybody, and happy birthday to your relative, Juhani.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm sad because I can't actually be at the event this year, but I encourage everybody to go because they are just good fun. Great music, great people, and lots of laughter, I promise. Oh, and you will meet somebody who is going there for the very first time. Ian Clark, and I was talking to him this morning. He is very excited about going.
Yeah, we are very excited that he is coming and playing.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have Sami Koivisto, who is singing the vocals in The Innocent Victims.
That's correct. It's very nice to be here with you. We're also very much looking forward to meeting all of you. And Trevor has attended many of the heap ventions before, like have we also. So he knows what he's talking about. So believe him and join us in Lahti and in Helsinki as well. That's already in 1 week's time.
Yeah.
To believe that.
Not long.
Yeah.
And then we have the new guitar player in The Innocent Victims, Jussi.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Yeah, my name is Jussi, and I've been with Innocent Victims a bit less than 2 years now. So actually, this will be also first heap vention for me, and I'm also looking forward to it. And I mean, I've heard so much great stories about past events, and really looking forward to play the wonderful music of Uriah Heep in front of this, I guess, quite demanding, but then probably also audience that can really appreciate what we are doing.
I have a question for you. As you can see, you might not be as old as some of us are. How do you think the people of your age will appreciate Uriah Heep music?
Well, I mean, I think many of people, I mean, of my age, I mean, I'm not that young either, I would say, but I mean, I think they enjoy the music of Uriah Heep, and I have some friends, I mean, that have been attending some of the past gigs of us, and hopefully at least some of them can join also in Lahti, but we'll see. I think it's of course Uriah Heep is maybe not hasn't been for my age. Let's say there was I guess Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. I mean, these were really big and influential bands, but then Uriah Heep had, of course, I guess in one way also completely their own thing, a bit, let's say, more progressive style and so on. And I know there are lots of people also in, let's say, my generation that also enjoy this music.
Can I pick up on that?
Sure.
Yeah, I've just got to turn my phone off. My daughter is trying to FaceTime me, even though she knows I'm doing this. Typical. I think it's really interesting because since we started the radio station, every now and again, as you guys know, I do a Uriah Heep special. And the comments I get from a lot of the people out there, that some of them obviously love the music and just absolutely adore it. Others say, I've never heard this. Why haven't I heard it? And it's really difficult because it's frustrating for me because I grew up with it. And there's people like you, but over here we don't have that many what I would call Uriah Heep. We don't have any in the UK Uriah Heep cover bands. You guys seem to have a lot. But yeah, that's a good point, a good question, Leo.
It's quite surprising that you don't have any cover bands in UK.
They all play blues and stuff like that, which is okay. You know, it's the market that they are playing to. We are the pubs and the clubs are quite narrow about what they want to hear. They only want to hear music that they know, and they're a little bit afraid of something that's a bit different. And as you said, Uriah Heep is and was still are a little different to a lot of the classic rock bands.
But I would say that Uriah Heep is quite well known in Finland, though. At least my experience is that no matter what audience we have, even the young people know the big hits. And we often get that reaction that you, Trevor, just described from them when they hear the perhaps not so often heard songs that are not played on radio. They have the same experience that, why haven't I heard of this before? And I didn't know that Uriah Heep had so many good songs. This is something that we hear practically every time that we play. But then what is different in Heapvention is that there is always an audience that knows all the rare songs inside out. And that's fantastic from our perspective because, you know, it's a totally different situation. You have to be careful because there is somebody who really knows how this part of this not so well-known song has to be played and sung. So it's a challenge for us, and we love that kind of challenges. So
that is really true. That is really true. I got involved in a conversation the other day on Facebook because Ken's band, Live Fire, Roberto sang one word wrong in one of the songs. He said the word friends instead of pen. And the number of people who picked up on that, it was incredible. And I said, please calm down, everybody. You know, it's Roberto. He's just a nice guy. Stop having. It was very, very funny, but they do. They know so much about the songs, when they were written, when they were released. And I love that. I love that because you know the songs are great. And what I tell you what, I mean this absolutely sincerely, that I love watching you guys when you do Heap, because you do it honestly and you play it like it's meant to be played. You don't try and change anything or and that's a real it's a gift. It's great. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to add that often the musical taste goes in generations. You can ask all my 5 children whether they know Uriah Heep, and you know the answer. You can ask all of my grandchildren whether they know Uriah Heep, and the answer is a solid yes. They all know, and they can sing with me and with the band, and yeah, it goes in generations.
Excuse me, I'm just going to mute my microphone while I take this call. It's my daughter.
Okay. And Leo, when you're typing, please mute your mic. We can hear you typing quite loud.
Oh, sorry.
But anyway, Jussi and Sami, when did the Innocent Victims actually start? It was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. We started in 2007 in Helsinki. Pia, Tommy, and myself were there already in the beginning, and then, like Jussi told, he joined us a couple of years ago. And Juha, who plays the drums, he joined in 2014 or 15 or something like this. By the way, our other members who are not visible here, they are following the chat. So if you have questions for the other members, please do ask them, and they will be able to answer through the chat. So Juha, if I'm incorrect with the year when you joined us, I thought it was 2014 or 15, but you probably remember it better than us. But going back to the question, yes, we've been doing this for quite a long time.
Can you tell about your first gig? That was a special event.
Yes, the first gig. The first gig was Pia, who is the bass player and also a vocalist, and Tommy, who is the keyboard player. They got married in actually in May of that year when we had our first show, and we were playing for the wedding in their garden. And I think this is quite an achievement because our first show was interrupted by the local police. That's real rock and roll, isn't it?
Yeah, but you were allowed to continue.
We were allowed to continue talking, but I do remember that moment still. I think I was singing July Morning when I saw the policeman standing there next to his van and
That's a long song. The policeman was waiting for the whole 10 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm kind of proud of that. Of course, we're sorry still for the noise that we created, but I think it was worth it. So it was a good start for the band, I would say. We have not been interrupted by the police after that. I have to.
Yeah. Did you attend the Heep convention in Spain in 2008? Some of you might have been there.
We didn't. I think that's probably the only one that we haven't attended.
Okay.
This will be our 5th, I think.
Yeah, you attended the Easy Living event in Salo 2009, and by that time we did not call these Finnish events Heep Ventions because we thought that the name Heep Vention belongs to John Lawton and other people who organized the Spanish Heep Vention, but later we heard that we are free to use it. But we called them Easy Living. That was in Salo 2009 and 2012, and we had one in between Easy Living at Himos in 2010, if I remember correct. Okay, but you played in Salo 2009. I remember that very well.
We did, and we did also 12 in Salo. Himos we didn't do, but then we did Belgium in 2015, I think. And Juha was along then, so he probably joined already a year before that, I think. So, and after Belgium, we've had the one in Helsinki, I think.
2018.
Yeah. And then we have had some other, not Heepventions, but a little bit similar shows, like, for example, the show that was organized for Trevor.
Yes, the charity concert. Yeah.
Yes, we were there as well.
Yes, you were.
So there have been several events.
Yeah, we have one question from the audience. Oh, actually several, but let's take one of the first. That says, does Innocent Victim play any Ken Hensley solo
the songs from Ken's solo production?
Songs. Yeah, solo production songs.
Yeah. Thank you, Martti, for the question. We do play Ken's solo work. We're not going to play Ken's solo work in the Heepvention set this time because there is another band who is focusing entirely on that. So we wanted to give that space for Knights of the Black Ox, the other band. But usually we do play several Ken's songs, and they are just lovely. His solo work is tremendous, but this time we won't be doing one of his songs that we've been doing quite a few times is From Time to Time, and we've done Cold Autumn Sunday and some other songs as well, from all of his solo albums. I think there are so many good songs that we still want to do, so yeah.
Well, thank you. As a Hensley, I say thank you for that, because just keeping the songs out there is really, really special. And I know that when I talk to my family, we My sister at the moment cannot listen to Ken's music, even though it's been 18 months, near more than that maybe, since he passed. But I actually love playing them, and it's just a memory. Every song for me, it has a memory with it, and I like that. It's just very, very cool.
I would love to hear your memories from all of those at some point.
Sometime maybe we can do that. Next time I come up, we'll sit down and we'll just swap stories. That would be fun.
I think we've done also Winter or Summer from his second solo album, which is one of my personal.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
And in this Heep venture, we really want to honor the memory of all those Heep band members who have passed away. Ken and John Lawton and Lee Kerslake. So we really hope that we will do something special to honor their contribution to the Heep community and Heep music.
That's a lovely thing to do. Lovely thing to do.
Yeah, there has been lots of these let's say sad events. I mean, after I sort of joined the family, so I think, for example, I mean, when I joined the band, there was still the plan that, okay, next Heep venture, we should be playing together with Ken Hensley. Of course, that did not happen. I think when I had my sort of trial session for the band, I think that was Saturday or Sunday. So I think it was the day before that actually Lee Kerslake passed away. And then after that, at some point, yeah, also then Ken and John and so on.
Yeah, it's very sad because I attended both Lee's and John's funeral, and it's okay. They're members of Uriah Heep, but for me that was seeing my good friends pass away, and you know, that's something that we didn't. They were never unhappy times at the funerals, because there were so many good memories. You know, they weren't big funerals. There weren't hundreds of fans there. That was deliberate. The families didn't want it, but the people that were there, we all shared stories, and it was a good send off, if you know what I mean. And it's yeah, a good time. And of course, those people, what a contribution they made to the band.
Yeah, we feel extremely lucky and happy that we've had the chance of sharing times interventions with all of these guys mentioned.
Did Lee play with you when he came up for what year was that when Lee came up? That wasn't for
He was there 2009 and 2012.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And he has been also in Tavastia, because I remember chatting with him backstage in the dressing room in Tavastia, and he also signed Juha's drums. So we still have, you know, Lee's signature hanging just behind Juha's drum stool in our rehearsal space.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and I remember you at some point mentioning that, yeah, Lee gave him some hints that how really play the shuffle, so that
Exactly. So he's had instructions directly from the master how to play the shuffle on Easy Living. So we cherish that.
Shuffle is the most tiring thing to play on drums.
It is. We've experienced that on our rehearsals. Also yesterday, we have challenges with one track that has a longer shuffle than Easy Living does, but it's going to be great in Lahti, I'm sure.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Did this COVID pandemic cause you a lot of trouble? I understand that you had to cancel many gigs, but did you rehearse also during this COVID times?
A little bit less, but we had to cancel at least one of our rehearsals that we've had for Lahti because of COVID. So it's been, you know, there, you can say we've had our share of that.
Okay.
So, of course, canceled gigs like everyone has had, and not to mention the ventions that had to be cancelled because
first postponed, and then now we're finally able to organize it. So. It's been a pain in the ass for all of us.
Everybody, yeah.
Yes, it has, but now it's opening up, and we're very much looking forward to having something else to think about.
And what is very special with the Innocent Victims is that you have really concentrated on the harmony singing, because you often have 3 or 4 voices singing live, and that is something extraordinary. All bands can do it in the studio, but to do it live, that's something spectacular. Not everybody can do it, so I really appreciate and love hearing your harmony singing. That's pitch perfect and so nice and so essential in the music of Uriah Heep. So really, thumbs up.
Thank you.
Good point.
Jussi probably can tell more about, because we have separate rehearsals for the vocals, the harmonies, and Jussi actually is organizing those in your rehearsal space. I haven't actually been there yet, but you and Juha and Pia have been doing that quite a few times already during also this winter and spring.
Yeah, and I guess that has been one of the sort of biggest challenges also for me when joining these bands. So I mean, guitar I've played for since I was, teenager, so for a very long time, and then only at the bit later stage, I maybe 10 years ago, so I started to sing backing vocals in some of the bands, but not really like with the falsetto and stuff that Uriah Heep is doing. So I mean, my range is not that high. I guess I'm a bass or baritone or something like that. And then after joining this band, I mean, I really have started to train and practice and learn this. Okay, how to actually do these high falsetto vocals, and it's been a challenge, but it's been also great, and it's always nice to learn new things. And I think that
And Jussi,
I
did you know?
think we succeed quite well, and hopefully with a little bit more practice still yet, it's always becoming better and better. I hope so.
Jussi, did you know that Lee Kerslake was training the harmonies in Uriah Heep? So you are actually now doing the same what Lee was doing in Heep, so conducting the harmony singing.
Okay, no, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
Lee is
There's
fantastic.
a funny story I have mentioned to other people before. In the UK, back in the early 70s, we had 2 music papers. One was called the New Musical Express, and the other one was called Melody Maker. And at where my sister lives, in her, she has a very big chest full of memorabilia that my nan collected. And there is one of those newspapers where Freddie Mercury says, and this is in black and white, I'll have to try and find it and share it. Freddie Mercury says it was because of the Uriah Heep's harmonies that they did what they did in Queen, which I think is, that's great. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, Brian May also said that it was Uriah Heep who influenced Queen's harmony singing and really inspired them to do the harmonies.
That's great, isn't it?
That really tells something of the significance of the Uriah Heep sound, if you think of what came afterwards. So
I guess it's really how to use the harmony vocals as an instrument of their own. So I mean, having these long of bad notes or bad chords there by the harmony vocalists and so on. I think that was one of the innovations of the band, and
it's really it's something that we really appreciate in our work, and it's also something that the rest of us who haven't not necessarily have not participated in all of those singing rehearsals, we can hear the difference once they've been rehearsing. When they come back and train with the rest of us, we experience and feel that they have had the work. You can hear it, and then we can listen afterwards to the tapes and check out if the harmonies are there. And for example, yesterday when we were rehearsing, we chose to, because we had too many songs to Lahti and we had to cut down our set a little bit, we left one particular song out because we felt that the harmonies were not yet pitch perfect with that one.
Oh,
So
okay.
we really try to pay attention on that side of things.
Yeah, we really appreciate that you see the trouble to really practice the harmonies, and we appreciate. I have to leave soon, but I want to say that in your band, Pia is my absolute favorite in the band, because I admire her singing, her playing, and as a joke, I can say that it's spectacular that the bass player is about the same size and weight as the instrument itself. So, that is quite amazing. But like Paul Newton always admires Pia's playing, and I think he's very honest with it. So Pia is a great bass player, and really my favorite in the band. Sorry, boys.
Total kudos for you with that, Juhani. Pia is also a musical. Her by profession, she's a professional teacher of music. So
Yeah.
she teaches us, and she's very good with that. So we appreciate her skills very much on also on that front. So
you're not allowed to make any mistakes.
No, we have a whip waiting there.
Okay.
I think I will leave now, and I will give my place to Tuula Halen, who is one of the organizers of this Heapvention event. So hopefully Tuula is there's Tuula, yeah. So I will leave now, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in Heapvention. Except, sorry, Trevor, that you can't come. It's a real pity, but we will have a great event. So
I'll be there in spirit. I'll be there.
Yeah, great, and thumbs up for the innocent victims, and especially with your harmony singing. We will love it. Thank you.
Bye
bye.
Okay, thank you, Juhani. Bye.
See you again.
Okay. Now we have one question from the audience that is actually to Trevor about Ken Hensley has been preparing yet another album that he was doing in 2019. So is there anything new coming from Ken yet?
I can't possibly say.
So we don't know yet.
Yes,
let's hope.
Yes, no, there is. It's like all of these things. Life can be complicated, especially when you pass away, and it gets a little bit more complicated with managers and stuff like that. But there is another album, and it will come out. I don't think it will be this year, but it's very, very different. That's all I will tell you. Very, very different.
Okay.
I have heard it, and it was quite surprised me, to be perfectly honest. But it's good.
Okay.
You're not talking about my book of answers, are you? Because that's already.
No, that's already published. I know that. I have it.
Yeah.
But now we have Tuula back here. Welcome back, Tuula.
Hello everybody. Hi Trevor. Hi Sami, Jussi, and Leo. I've been kind of like listening you here in behind, and it's been really interesting and really a pleasure to be listening your kind of like wise words, because for now this time we really do have the people in this interview who's been doing the Uriah Heep covers so many years, Innocent Victims, and especially listening you, Trevor, how you told them that how you are so kind of like thankful for them for all those years and the work they've done to keep on the spirit of Uriah Heep music.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's really important.
Yes, it's really important. And I have to tell one of the stories right now in the beginning, when I was listening Sami and Jussi talking about the knowledge of Uriah Heep. Heep's music in our youth nowadays. And I always remember the first time I introduced one of our technicians to innocent victims. And it was a Heep convention held in our premises in Jätkäsaari. Leo, correct me, was it 2018? Maybe it was 2018. No, it was 2017. It was earlier. 70s. Yes, it was so interesting when I asked from my technician to come and do the night, and I told him that it's innocent victims, and they play Uriah Heep cover songs. And this guy goes like this: that never heard the band, never heard both of them. And I got him in because I trusted him so much, because I saw him earlier, his doings, and I loved the way he handled the whole stage. He was so calm and peaceful and made all the people kind of like understand what he wanted them to do. And after he was taking care of innocent victims, he walked to me and he said to me that, Tuula, I am so grateful for this night. This was the best ever night in my life. And now I go home and I'm going to buy all the Uriah Heep records and I'm going to listen them all. And after that, I know exactly what's going on. So thank you, innocent victims. You really made it. Yeah.
It's a great
But
story.
yeah, it was brilliant night. And I have to tell that nowadays it's like we have lots of young bands that they come to me and then they say that, Tuula, we have found something really interesting, an interesting band. Have you ever heard? It's called Uriah Heep. And it's kind of like, we have to understand that they're only 18. They're 17, they're 18, they're 19, they don't know. And this is one of the reasons I see that the work for Uriah Heep Association is really important, and it's really important to have all these bands around us. So, but anyways, I didn't kind of like introduce myself to all the people who are there. So I'm Tuula, and Tuula Heilen, that's my name, and I'm working for Golden States, Golden Classics, and we've been involved with these Heep ventures now the past 4 years, 5 years, something like that. So we have the pleasure of taking care of these amazing groups on the stage and look after that everything goes the way they should go. So that's my part.
And you do it very well, Tuula, let me say.
Thank you. I do it with my heart anyways. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's an interesting thing to say, because we kind of said that earlier on, that what I love about the Heep Ventures in Finland is that it is done for one reason and one reason only, and that's to keep the music alive. And that's so important. It's so easy to just let it go, and then it's something that we don't want this to go. We want it to be there, and we want more people to hear it and to get used to hearing it. As you know, I do a new music show on a Monday, and I hear some of these bands that send me their music in, and you can hear their influences. And strangely enough, I can hear Uriah Heep in some of the heavier bands, and it just makes me feel so proud. But you guys do it really well, and it's because you do it because you love it, and we do it, and that's
thank you. We really do love it, and one of the good things about doing Uriah Heep music is that it's so versatile, and there is so many different types of music in the Heep catalog that, when you collect a set which is based on the work of Uriah Heep, you can add so many different layers of color and mood and change and drama into it, that that's something that seems to surprise many people who are perhaps not so well aware of all the music that Heep has done, that like I said earlier, that many people recognize the big hits like Easy Living, Lady in Black, July Morning, that stuff, but they're always in awe of the rest of the material because it is so rich and colorful and there is so much going on in it. So it's in that sense, it's also a delight for us and easy for us to work with just one group, if you put it that way.
Yeah, maybe a bit continuing this topic. I remember actually my first gig with the band. So that was in last summer. We were playing in Vesanto, the very small village. I don't know, 400 kilometers north from Helsinki, hometown of Sami and Pia actually. And we had to gig there in the smallest local pub. And I guess we were all a bit hesitant that, okay, how it will be going. So, I mean, there are these regulars who might not enjoy this loud, bit weird music and so on. And after all, I think it turned out to be great success. So the bar was really packed up, and I somehow heard that, okay, people were passing the bar by outside, and then, okay, what's this music going on there? And okay, coming in, and I think after the gig we heard so many compliments that, okay, hey, this was really great, that we don't normally hear this kind of music here. So I mean, I guess that if they normally have bands there, it's maybe more like the top 40 hits, so maybe some really sort of basic classic rock songs or something like that. But by now and then here also, of course, I mean, there are some of these big hits of Uriah Heep, but then there is this more versatile, more progressive stuff and so on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sorry, go on.
yeah, it really works. It's the young people who attended the bar. Well, there was many ages, but also young people, and that show was a success, and it actually led to the village community to invite us back there. So we're going there and having a much bigger show this summer to celebrate the new school that they have built there in the village. So they loved us. We hope that the second gig will go as well as the first one. But yeah, we're going back there this summer.
That's great. Can I say, I have to say something now, because what makes Innocent Victims so special is also, like Sami just said, about the colors and the visuality and all the drama and the theatrical things in it. And then I love it because Innocent Victims is maybe the only one who also brings all those into the stage. So just to say for the audience and the listeners, so it's more of kind of like a total performance. It's like music with the visualities and even the costumes and everything. So that is one of the reasons now that Innocent Victims will be starting the Lahti. Because in my opinion, that is kind of like that they have this spectacular performance, which is 1.5 hours. And like Jussi already said, that they have needed also to cut down their song selection to do it for the 1.5 hour set. It means like it's a total act. We will begin with it. So to show what was Uriah Heep in the 70s, what's all the things that belong in it. And then it's easier to move on after having this spectacular show starting Lahti. And then we all can kind of like sit down and be quiet and kind of like be exhausted. And then we move on to Knights of the Black Ox, and we move on to Ken Hensley production. So we have this red line going on through the whole night in Lahti, and it's a pleasure to start it immediately with the Innocent Victims. So we are fully in that world immediately. Thank
Well
you.
said. I just add to that I've been with you several times, and I've seen a lot of cover bands that play. And what I like about the performance is for Innocent Victims is you have this stage presence, which is great. But what you don't do, and we mentioned it earlier on, Sammy and you see, you don't change the song. You do the song very honestly. You sing it beautifully. You play it beautifully. So instantly, when the music starts, you know what you're going to get. And I think that's what real Uriah Heep fans want. So keep doing it, please.
I promise we do it because, you know, Heep did it best, like they did, and that the sound world that they have created is what we love, and we aim for that. So why change something that is so good, you know, in how it was originally done? But I must say that, you know, one time when we were in Tavastia warming up the stage for your brother, and I was having these platform boots. I was trying to get them on. I asked Ken, who was sitting there in corner backstage, just how on earth did you manage these every night back then? And he just said, I don't know, we just did it. But I got the feeling that he liked them. Am I right?
Oh, completely, especially the white ones. The white knee-length ones. They were. I tried to steal them several times, but he always caught me. But yeah, he was just. I can see the pictures of him on stage with his flying V. Now, where would that have been? And his white boots, and he just absolutely loved them. I think also he might have had somebody help him to get them on.
Probably.
I have to say here something now that while I was visiting Monica Hensley at the farm and Ken Hensley's home, actually, and we had a long talk about Ken's behavior at home. So this is kind of like a secret. Maybe I should not say this out loud, but it seemed like Ken really enjoyed all those clothing and all the dressing up, and he loved his clothing and everything. So it was really important for him. And Monica was so funny when she said it to me, like, well, it was also always with Ken so that I was earlier ready to go somewhere than him, because he was really looking after, you know, the way he was. So it was really important for him. But
him ages to do his hair.
yeah, I can imagine. I know it. Yeah. But yes, but those are the things that, you know, lots of our young people, they need to kind of like, I really do wish that we have lots of younger audience also now coming to Lahti, because this is really important, innocent victims, what you are doing, because, you know, it gives them the possibility and also the kind of like the right to, you know, be themselves and dress up. And it's kind of like, because we have this age going on now also, that we don't have only he's and she's, we have people who are kind of like, you know, a gender something. So it gives them the right also to dress up and feel confident. And, you know, that is something that in the 70s all the bands were doing, and it was totally fine. We loved it. And yeah, so we kind of like, you know, this is also some kind of a school for the young ones what you are doing. And that's why even that Pia is also a teacher, the way she is also giving the kind of like someone was saying earlier, that it's so funny that the bass is even bigger than the bass player. Like Pia is a tiny small lady playing the big huge bass, and that gives also the girls the idea that we can do it. We can be like, you know, Pia Korpela or Susi Quattro or Patti Smith or whatever it is. So it gives the right also to be yourself. And I love it. It's kind of like a free spirit world we are living in.
I agree 100%. Sorry, my daughter Lulu, she's 16, and she is at music college studying music right now, and she has a 4-piece band. But it's not just the blues band that plays covers. They are writing their own songs, which is great. But their bass player is a girl. And when I saw them, I was a little surprised, which I shouldn't have been. But it's really, really cool to see these kids. And you know, she's got pink hair and she's got all of the really cool clothes on. And I think a little bit of Ken's spirit has moved into her. So we've watched this space. But yeah, female bassists, there not very many around, but when they play, they're good.
It's usually always so that sorry, it's kind of like some of our musicians calling me. It's like Arto Teppo, the keyboard player. So I'm gonna kind of like, you know, sorry, I'm in the interview. Okay, so yeah, it's neat. It's kind of like, you know, and we have to say now here out loud also that Pia Korpela just won some kind of a prize. Jussi and Sami, you know exactly what the prize is. Should you kind of like open it up? The bass player, whatever.
Well, Pia is probably listening herself, so you can write it on the chat board. What is the actual name of the prize? But this was a competition for Saku Stars is the name of the competition, and she used she did Sweet Lorraine, didn't she?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Sweet Lorraine.
And she's fantastic with that one. But you must come, everyone who's listening to Lahti, to experience it full hand live as she's doing what she does best. One thing relating to what we just talked about, this gender thing, with Pia and myself sharing the lead vocals with several of the tracks that we do, we also consider, you know, this fact that many of the lyrics were originally written from a very male or masculine point of view, and it kind of adds a nice color into it when Pia is actually singing these very masculine things. And sometimes, and earlier on, we sometimes thought about whether or not we should change the pronouns a bit. But lately we haven't really done that. It doesn't really matter that much, but it just gives a nice new color, you know, when a woman like Pia, for example, really puts her heart into the gypsy, for example.
Oh, well, okay.
Very masculine lyric originally.
Yeah.
And also here we have to say that there is this is kind of like a marketing a new band also now here, because I think it's really important. Pia and Tommy and there are a bunch of new guys. They have this new band also here in Finland, Aamun Koite. And I think it's amazing that now they are also doing their own production in Finnish language, which is kind of like has of course the similarities with Uriah Heep music. And Pia is there singing also, and it's like it's great. It's kind of like, you know, keep on the good work. But now with the Finnish language and with a Finnish band called Aamun Koite, so people, if you haven't heard anything about Aamun Koite, go and check it out. Because if you like Uriah Heep music, you're gonna love the band also.
Tula, can you send me a link for that? Tula, could you send me a link for that?
Oh,
yes,
certainly. Yeah.
I will.
Of course. And it has to be mentioned when talking about Aamun Koite that Tomi Korpela, who is the keyboard player with Innocent Victims, is the main composer behind the songs of Aamun Koite. And I just remember a couple of years ago when he was having this moment that he was talking about, that he's just having this music coming now, and he has to do it. We tried it first a little bit with our Innocent Victims, but then we figured out that it works better if they have this different outlet for that music. But of course, you can feel, you know, his background and his love for the music of Uriah Heep in there, and also general moods from that era. who are perhaps not so directly linked towards Uriah Heep, but that kind of mood and those sounds that are from that time, from the 70s, are very much present there.
I promise you, I will play, excuse me, some of it on my station. We're not afraid to play anything. We have one rule, and we got 4 songs from a Japanese band the other day. They were singing in English, and every other word was the F word. We didn't play them, but we'll play it because my audience loves anything that's different. So yeah, please send it.
Absolutely.
Finnish language is really beautiful, Trevor. You should know it by now.
I am fluent in Finnish. I can say kiitos.
Yes, I know. But anyways, Finnish language is really beautiful in singing. So
Yes.
it has lots of vocals. It's really soft and nice. So in my opinion, you're gonna love those songs. So definitely you will be.
And we promise you, Trevor, even though you are totally fluent in Finnish, that there is no F words in
No efforts. Yeah.
I did get in touch with them and say, listen, I can't play this. And they went, why? Doesn't everybody speak like that? And I went, not quite. They're very, very young and very enthusiastic, and they're now going away to rewrite it. But we'll see what happens. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just love new music, and I think I love the old stuff. I mean, Heep from 69 to 80 is that period that I identify with mainly because that's when Ken was around, and then his subsequent solo stuff. But today I'm excited by new music, seriously excited, because there's some amazing talent out there. It really is.
There is, and also a lot of kind of rework is probably not the right word, but the young people have discovered those sounds of the 70s music, and they use them fluently today, which I love as well. Talking about which, I have to say that creating the kind of as close as possible Uriah Heep sound from the early 70s is physically demanding because the Hammond weighs a lot. And it's a lot of transport. And Finnish climate, which is probably not the nicest on the planet. Imagine a Friday night in January, -15 or -20 degrees, and we're loading the van. We have the Hammond, and we have half a meter of snow and sleet, and 4 persons are needed to carry that thing.
Sure.
And so it demands work. And Hammonds, those precious instruments, many of them are quite old. I think like Tommy's keyboard is from 1968 or so.
Yeah.
So he's having... So you need people who actually professionals who can take care of the tubes and stuff involved in
it's a literally heavy sound.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Really heavy sound.
But it's interesting because you won't be surprised at this. I never saw Ken carry his B3 at all.
Really? Are you serious, Trevor?
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
No. But do you use a Leslie with it, or is it just the?
We use the Leslie. And then we have this. Tommy has this special. What's the word for this kind of case? Is not the word, but it's kind of a thing that helps you carrying it, which has the wheels under it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Handles. It's like a custom-made thing that needs to be attached to the actual organ, and which it works fine when there is not half a meter of snow.
It has to be called a Hammond carrier or something.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
probably.
We all need one.
They are the most. I mean, when you look at the 4 key players in the 70s, who did you have? You had John Lord, Rick Wakeman, Keith Emerson, and Ken. Every one of them, their sound is so different. You can identify them instantly, can't you? And yet they're still playing the same instrument. It's really, really. That's Tommy will know how that's achieved. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful instrument.
very much so. And
I
such a
first
crucial part.
heard it with Jimmy Smith playing it. Ken, I went round to see Ken, and there was this sound coming out of his speakers, and I went, "Who is that?" Do you know the tune "The Cat" by Jimmy Smith? You should check it out. And Ken was just sat there, spellbound by it, and yeah, interesting times. Nice memories. I like memories like that.
Right. Have to check that one out.
Yes, it's "The Cat" by Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith have to go also.
Might change your musical taste completely. No,
Do you think?
it won't, I promise.
Probably not anymore. We found love.
Tula, look.
What? Yeah, should I wear mine also? I have it here behind me. Should I? Hey, but there's a one thing. I don't know. Have you heard this, Trevor? Have you seen it?
The Wizard's Diary.
The Wizard's
course we
Diary.
have.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. So you have it. Okay. So we're gonna have a couple of these also putting into the radio station now next week, and kind of like create a competition or something. So I haven't seen it. I kind of like I would love to rip it open and start watching it, but won't do it. But anyways, this has to be really interesting, anyways, because it has also all kinds of MTV interviews and photo galleries and the making of it and everything. So
Yeah, it's good fun. Good fun. I mean, it's like anything. That there will be some of it where you think, but there'll be a lot of it that you think, oh, that's interesting. See, things like that, I think, have so much value because they are snapshots in time, aren't they? They're You're talking about, which is why I love what Innocent Victims do and what you Heap Vention guys do is you take this time and you fill it full of great stuff, and that's no bad thing. But that's a good thing. The Wizard's Diary. Yeah. Have you? How are you going to? Is it a quiz or a competition or something?
Quiz or competition? We could talk about it together after this show. That what you see, because also we could do this in through your radio station, of course, because I have 3 of these. So one is going to Lahti, to Radio Voima, and then I have this one, and then I'm actually planning to go and meet also Rock Radio and see if they could, create something out of it. But
keep them in Finland because I think that's right.
I will keep them in Finland, definitely.
Yeah. But maybe we were going to talk after this show, weren't we? So yeah.
Yeah.
I can maybe come up with a question.
But maybe you could, kind of like, get lots of new audience from Finland if you say that this is only for the Finnish listeners in your show.
I have.
You want to have this?
I genuinely have been promoting the event. I mention it all the time. Yeah. So it's important.
Yeah, it's really important, and
maybe I could come up with a question for your competition.
Yeah, you could. You should.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I have one already.
Leo, do we have?
You're muted.
I'm always saying everybody else to unmute their microphone first, and then I don't do it myself. But anyway, we have had a wonderful hour with you guys, and we'd like to see you again in Lahti. And we can do interviews similar to this even after the Heap Vention event. This is so much fun, and I think we will in the future have much more listeners and viewers for this. So I seriously want everybody who hasn't bought ticket yet to Hipvention to go and do it, because if we can't get enough people in there, then we can't organize anything like this in the future. But this is something, this as we have it now, is going to be something that will never be repeated again, but something similar we will do, absolutely. I wish to thank you all and see you there. Bye-bye.
See you in
Okay.
1 week's time.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
next Saturday.
See you
Yes.
next Saturday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.